So a small update, nothing too crazy today, but I do think that I got my questions answered about how the Baltimore Ravens view Ben Cleveland moving forward on their roster. We're getting ready to talk about that shortly. Before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn them notifications on so you don't miss a single thing with the Baltimore Ravens, whether big or small, whatever's going down with the team, so you can stay up to date and leave a like on the video because it helps out a whole lot. So Ben Cleveland, when it was announced that the Baltimore Ravens had re-signed Ben Cleveland, I was shocked. I was surprised. I was, oh my, they really, Ben Cleveland, really? After how they felt about him, after him and John Harbaugh beef after all that, they really re-signed Ben Cleveland? But they did. But then I thought about it. I was like, Ben Cleveland, they re-signed him to a one-year deal. Okay, so there's no long-term commitment there. But even still, we've seen guys get re-signed to one-year deals before, and then they go on and ball out, and then they end up getting a contract extension from that very same team. So could that happen with Ben Cleveland? It's still a possibility. But then I thought about, wait a minute. With Ben Cleveland, I just feel like this was sort of a fallback option because, and again, I didn't hear anything, still haven't heard anything. I ain't got no plugs, no sources, no connects. I'm an NFL outsider, not an insider, the outsider, the exact opposite of an insider. But I just I can't even say put two and two together, but this was just my own thoughts. When Mekhi Becton, his deal got announced that he signed with the Chargers, and then the Ravens, they re-signed Ben Cleveland like the very next day. I was thinking, I wonder if they might have been interested in Mekhi. I wonder. But anyway, so then I thought, it just seems like the Ravens may be, if they're going to try to get a guard in the draft. I'm sure they got their board planned out and whatnot, and they're going to be like, all right, we want this guy in this round. We look at this guy in that round. But if all of that fails, because you don't ever get every single person that you want, even though you're like some teams after the draft, they'll be like, oh yeah, that's the guy who we wanted. You're lying. Anyway, you don't get every single person that you want in the draft. And I feel like if the draft doesn't shake out for the Ravens at guard like they want it to, then Ben Cleveland would just be sort of a fallback option. And looking at his deal, I think it just pretty much confirms that. Because it says, this from Brian McFarland, Raven Salary Cap on Twitter. He said, guard Ben Cleveland signed a one-year veteran salary benefit deal of $1.17 million. So $1.17 million. So pretty much nothing. I mean, nothing for them. That's for us regular people. Anyway, he said the deal includes no bonus and contains no guaranteed money. So, wow. No bonus, no guaranteed money. And when I saw that, I said, oh yeah, this is definitely a fallback option. If all else fails for the Ravens, if they can't draft the guard that they want, if they can't sign a veteran guard that they want, then they're like, all right, well, we got Ben Cleveland. So this is just them sort of staying ready so they ain't got to get all the way ready. And it says, he also said under the VSB rules, so the veteran salary benefit rules, his cap number is reduced to $1.03 million. So a tiny bit over $1 million is his cap hit. So nothing. But this is an opportunity. Obviously, we got to see how the draft shakes out. We got to see who the Ravens do or don't pick up as a veteran at the guard position. But this could possibly, is not likely, but you never know. But it could possibly maybe be Ben Cleveland's redemption story. We'll see how it shakes out. A lot of times during these videos, I see y'all compliment my lineup, which I really, really appreciate. Thank you, because I do it myself. But also the beard. And y'all know it's keep it clean, not just for when we talking about football, but just in life in general. And when I'm shaving my beard, I believe that I should keep it as clean as I possibly can. And House of Atlas makes it so much easier for me. But who is House of Atlas? Well, that's actually today's sponsor for this video. After months of rocking my beard and it got a little crazy, I had to switch it up a bit. The brands that are currently out there really haven't innovated in years, and I was excited to see this new brand Atlas out there on the market. Now, their razor comes from the creators of the brand Athena Club, which is a leading women's brand, which my wife really loves, by the way, and they know what they're doing. First of all, this Atlas razor looks sick. It has a sleek design, it's easy to hold and maneuver, and it has a real nice weight to it. It's not too heavy, not too light either. I got the blue one, and it's truly the best looking razor that I've ever seen. This shaving cream is really nice too, because it's a thick formula that shows me where I'm shaving and leaves my skin baby bottom soft. And I can't forget about their aftershave. It doesn't burn like old school aftershave from back in the day, but it does have a nice cooling sensation, and it smells really good, so that's a nice bonus. But I know you're wondering, how can you get your hands on House of Atlas? Well, let me tell you. Now, for a limited time, they're offering 15% off your first order when you purchase any razor kit and the before and after set, which include the precision shave cream and calming aftershave. Use code TKIC at houseofatlas.com. That's HOUSEOFATLAS.com. Promo code TKIC for 15% off your new razor kit and before and after set. Stop wasting money and time on shaving products that don't look good, aren't effective, and cost way too much. Visit houseofatlas.com today. Trust me, you'll love it as much as I did. So now we reach my favorite part of these videos where we get to feature your questions. If you would like to take part in it, you can send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com, or if you're a patron, you can send your question in the DM directly on Patreon. And if you would like to become one, you can go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids. I love y'all, and let's get into these questions. First one came from my guy Jarvo, and actually the first and only one, because I am proud to say, and I probably shouldn't say this because I probably shouldn't say it, but anyway, I am proud to say that after this question that we're about to answer right here, right now, we are finally officially caught up with every single question from Team Keep It Clean. Love y'all so much. Anyway, my guy Jarvo said, sending you our offense and defense, and would like for you to discuss glaring needs and what must be done for this team to be successful. He said, me personally, if EDC don't cook with his picks and be aggressive with trading them, he's got to go on the hot seat. Watching coach with his crew as they discuss the Ravens, and Hendo made a great point. He said, we have needs at position EDC drafted, which means his picks are not contributing. For example, we drafted the quarterback in the 4th round and had to sign Rush because the QB was a waste. Devin Leary he was in the 4th round? I thought Devin Leary was like in the 6th. I'm pretty sure that. Let me look up Devin Leary when he got drafted. I do still get the point, but let me see. Devin Leary, Ravens draft. Devin Leary was drafted in the 6th round. Yeah, okay. I know he wasn't drafted that high. I mean, if he would have been drafted in the 4th round, but a quarterback, oh yeah, I might have been down at Owens Mills talking to EDC. But anyway, he said there's others like Adisa Isaac, Trent Simpson, David Ajabo, and others. When you, I do see the point in that, but that's draft picks. Some draft picks, they work out. Some draft picks, they don't. But when you talk about needs right now for the Baltimore Ravens, obviously guard. We were just talking about that with Ben Cleveland. That's a need. And so they signed Ben Cleveland. They re-signed Ben Cleveland. They still have Andrew Voorhees, but there's question marks on both of those guys. So I would expect them to, and they were both drafted by the Baltimore Ravens. Ben Cleveland was a 3rd round pick about 4 years ago. Andrew Voorhees was a 7th round pick 2 years ago. So they were both draft picks, but not that it hasn't, or with Ben Cleveland, it hasn't worked out with him, but with Andrew Voorhees, he was a starter, but then he got hurt and he never got his job back because they just stayed with the guys who were out there. So that's could still be considered a need. On offense, besides that, no, you're good. You got your quarterback, but they did talk about that. Well, I don't feel like that's a big deal. You drafted a quarterback, but you signed a backup, but you upgraded. Running back, obviously that's set. Fullback, that's set. Wide receiver, set. Tight end, set. We'll see what happens with that. But just offense. On offense, is just offensive line. That's it. All offense is just the offensive line. Now defense. Oof. Michael Pierce retired, so that leaves a little hole there. You got Broderick Washington, you got Nnamdi Madubuike, and you got Travis Jones. With Nnamdi Madubuike, it obviously worked out. You drafted him. With Travis Jones, it's been working out. You drafted him. With Broderick Washington, you drafted him too. It's been all right. But so the hole there is more so because Michael Pierce retired, not because it hasn't been working out as far as draft picks. When you look at the edge position, now that's one where Kyle Vanoy, you didn't draft him, but Odafe Away, you drafted him, and he's been getting better. So it's been a slow process with the first rounders from what 4 years ago, with Rashad, I was about to say Radafe away with Rashad Bateman and Adafe away. It's been a slow process with them, just really getting it going. But hey, they've been getting better and better as time has went on. So we'll see what happens with Adafe away in the Baltimore Ravens as far as contract and stuff, because the clocks are ticking. But other than that, it's a bunch of questions. Well, Tavius Robinson, I don't feel like he's a question mark because he's just a depth guy right now. But when he gets in, he be doing his thing. David Ajabo, you drafted him second round a couple years ago. Huge question mark. And that is a need right now. So, yeah, that's one of them. Adisa Isaac, you drafted him last year. We don't really know much about him at all to this point. Huge question mark right there. So that's definitely a spot at edge, at pass rusher, where, hey, yeah, you got to hit on that. You got to hit on that, or just hope that the guys, they end up blossoming in this second year for Adisa Isaac. Fourth year for David Ajabo. It's his fourth year already. Yeah, this is his fourth year already. That's crazy. Went by so fast, man. And then of course we got the need at corner right now too. But there are 2 draft picks that are sitting there waiting. Obviously, drafting Marlon Humphrey's been excellent. Nate Wiggins, he was good. But then there's TJ Tampa and Jalen Armour-Davis. Jalen Armour-Davis, it's just been injuries. It's been injuries. TJ Tampa, he was hurt last year, but I don't know if he was really hurt or not, because I know they would put him on injury reserve, then bring him back. They put him on injury reserve, then bring him back. Put him on injury reserve, bring him back. But with TJ Tampa, just unknown. It's a big unknown there. We obviously have a need at corner. Could TJ Tampa fill that role? Possibly. And again, we talked about this in yesterday's video, that the biggest reason for him sliding in the draft was because his 40 time. But he's a versatile cornerback. He could do different things. So it's a possibility that he could fill that spot, because it ain't like whoever going to be the opposite corner, opposite Nate Wiggins, Marlon Humphrey, you ain't got to be locked down. You ain't got to be shut down. You got to be solid, man. You got to be solid. With Brandon Stevens, again, he did everything really, really good. Stuck with the receiver for the most part. Tackled good. Not afraid to come up and hit anybody, but just making a play on the ball. If TJ Tampa can do that, do a better job of making a play on the ball than Brandon Stevens, then we'll be in solid shape. Well, whoever the cornerback ends up being opposite Marlon Humphrey and Nate Wiggins, because that's what it is right there. And then at safety, obviously Super Duper Kyle, that has worked out. That's been a great draft pick. Darius Washington was undrafted, but that's worked out too. But now who's going to be the next safety? You got some options where that you could go to. But who else is it going to be? Are you going to go through free agency? You're going to go through I don't see them going through the draft and putting that pressure on a rookie, but we'll see. So yeah. At linebacker, because you mentioned Trenton Simpson too. Yeah, he got benched last year because of poor play. Will he be able to sort of redeem himself this year? We'll see after the draft. Ravens could bring in, and I do expect them to bring in a veteran at inside linebacker, somebody who can compete for that spot next to Roquan Smith. I expect them to address linebacker via the draft as well. Not that they're going to be relying on a bunch of rookies or anything like that, but I do expect them to address it both ways. Because with the Ravens, they don't like a rookie having all of that responsibility, not all of it. Could a rookie have some significant responsibility? Oh yeah, he could. I mean, we saw with Patrick Queen, they threw him out there, and it was rough though. It was rough. His first year and first couple years, it was a little bit rough. He did have some bright moments too now, but it was rough. It was just a lot on his plate from jump. But then you look at guys like C.J. Mosley. I think C.J. Mosley, they kind of eased him in a bit more, but C.J. Mosley, he was used to it in college more. With Patrick Queen, he was not the Mike. Was he the Sam linebacker? Yeah, he was the Robin to the Batman in college. So when they drafted him in the first round, it's like, all right, I have never done this before. So he had everything thrown on him from jump. With C.J. Mosley, when C.J. Mosley went to what, Alabama, I think. But with C.J. Mosley, when they drafted him, I done this. I'm used to this. So it was a smoother transition for him. So I think that's why there was a big difference with that. But anyway, Ravens got Roquan Smith. So whatever they do at linebacker, whether it's veteran, rookie, mix of both, a Trent Simpson, whatever they do there, They got Roquan holding it down, so that'll make life easier for whoever's lined up next to him. So yeah, Ravens do got a hit on their draft picks. But again, that's part of the game. That's the name of the game. Every single draft pick, it ain't always gonna work out. Every single draft pick ain't gonna be a home run, and that is a part of it. But what we really just want from draft picks is just immediate impact for the most part, especially from the top end draft picks. And usually you get that from first rounders, second rounders. But you just want immediate impact and people that can come in and play right away. Our next question that literally just came in as I was editing the video came from my guy Chauncey. He said, what are we really doing? Let's see what he's talking about. He said, I know you spoke on this briefly, but why are we going after the best backup on the market when we have roster holes still? His contract isn't too expensive, but just why? There's been many signings so far in the same ballpark as Cooper's contract that could help the positions that matter. Guard, Zeitler, safeties, Cisco, Chin, edges, Ojulari, Clavion Chason, corner, Dante Jackson. My bad about the length of this, but we're in win now mode, signing backups in free agency when we have a plethora of late picks to address that position. Well, my saying, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Number one, like you mentioned it. You said it. I think you answered your own question because you said his contract isn't too expensive. That's it. His contract ain't too, it ain't like he's getting all that 12 mil. And there were so many people, not saying you did, but I know I did. I was certainly somebody that said it. I said last year I was saying it like, hey, Ravens, let's upgrade the backup QB position. Let's do it. Why not? Because obviously I had all the trust in the world for Lamar Jackson to continue to be the starter because I thought them injuries from the previous years were just contract disputes. But why not upgrade it? Because I was saying, hey, let's get Tannehill. Why not get Ryan Tannehill, upgrade the position at backup QB? Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. But the Ravens said, no, we're going to do Josh Johnson. So now they are doing something that I was hoping that they were doing. That's upgrade the backup QB position. So they did that. But just because, and I get what you're saying, but just because they upgraded the backup QB position, it does not mean that they can't still address other positions of need. And I get what you say, like we see all these other teams, they sign all these players, and now the deals are becoming a lot more modest and a lot more Raven-esque. So we like, why the Ravens not doing those? I'm sure they got some on the way for us. But anyway, he also said, we are a few pieces away. We should only be doing significant signings. No, I disagree with that part, though. Because if you only did significant signings, then you would have no depth on your team. Now, I know some people feel like the Ravens only focus on depth, but they don't. They focus a lot on depth, especially free agency. But it's got to be a mix of everything. Every move, and I mean, as much as we would love, y'all know I love a big move. You know I love a big trade, a huge signing. I'm with all of that. But not every single move is going to be like that because you're not going to sign just all start. Who's going to play special teams? Who's going to be your backups? Who's going to come in when those starters, whether they get hurt, hopefully they don't, obviously, but when they get tired, when they need a little break, who's going to be your depth guys? So obviously we want to have the best of the best when it comes to the starters. And the Ravens got some of the best of the best. They got one of the best players. I mean, they got the best player in the world, not just offense and defense, but the best football player in the world at quarterback. They got the best safety in the world with Super Duper Kyle. So we got some of the best in the world already, but I know we want everything. And I get it. I'm greedy just like you, my friend. But yeah, not every move can be this major blockbuster move, and that's okay. You got to fill out the team. He said, we are a few pieces away. We should only be doing significant signings. Use significant in a sentence. Don't sign. He said, don't sign if I can't expect to see him on the field. Well, again, it's not only starters play. It's not only starters that play. Backup guys they play too. There's a rotation of different positions on the field. There's special teams. There's all type of stuff, man. He said, sorry for the rant, but like we would be in the playoffs if we had to depend on Cooper Rush, I'm out. But again, we ain't going to have to. It's just staying ready so you ain't got to get ready.